We believe the purpose of owning a business is funding your perfect life. Welcome to the next generation of growth and opportunity in the inspection industry. This is the Empire State of Mind. Empire State of Mind. Helping build companies with faster growth, higher profits, and more time freedom. Finally, a podcast for the home inspection industry and beyond. This is the Empire State of Mind. And this is your host, Matt Williams.
Welcome to the show. So glad that you are here with us today. I am pumped. We have an amazing guest. Mr. Wally Conway is going to be here. You know, he gave a presentation at the last IEB Unite conference. And then a couple weeks ago, we had another conversation around this idea of strategic philanthropy. And I just couldn't wait to have him on the show and start to talk about this a little bit. So welcome to the show, Wally. So glad that you're here today.
Matt, grateful to be with you.
Yes. So are you in your Studio C? Is that where you're at today?
Well, I have three studios.
Wow.
We have a mobile studio, a studio in the office, and I have a studio on my boat, hence the name of the boat, Studio C.
That's incredible. Which one are you coming from today?
I'm in the office today. That's boring.
I just saw the picture of the boat in the background, and I thought, I wonder if he's there. I should have asked that on the front end, but that's amazing. Yeah, so where are you located at?
Jacksonville, Florida. I've been here over 40 years now.
Wow, that's amazing. And you started an inspection company. How long ago did you start your inspection company?
Started in 94, and we're sitting here merrily 50,000 plus inspections later.
Man, that's a lot of inspections. That's a lot of inspections.
Well, I'm grateful to say I didn't do them all. So
well, that's good,
only about 5,000 of those are my own labors, and it's a wonderful team of collaborators who cared to the rest.
Wow, that's great. So you built a good team, and you have a good team of inspectors and office administrators and operations people and all that good stuff, and that's fantastic. So how many inspectors do you guys have running right now in the field?
There's about 10 of them running around, and 3 or 4 in the office, and a couple focused on growth. So then we also have another 20 some on the pest control side doing WDO inspections.
Okay, so you got a pest control company,
We do.
Then and what else do you have running over there?
That's the bulk of it. We do some little odds and ends, a little bit of media, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But the core is the home inspection company and the things that feed from it.
That's fantastic. So we had this conversation a couple weeks ago about strategic philanthropy. And some people have heard that term before, but just how about explain it to me? What is strategic philanthropy?
Well, the real origin story is, and it's not unlike every other home inspection company in America, I just got completely worn out of being asked by every real estate agent, every real estate team, and every real estate brokerage all across the fruited plains, could we please give them money? And if we just gave them money, we would have access to all of their agents, and the wonders would fall from heaven, and our lives would be better.
Yeah.
You know,
I've heard that story before, yeah.
Yeah. After doing that a few thousand times, I just came to the conclusion, this just isn't working. There's got to be a better way. And that way, for us, has been strategic philanthropy. The idea that we can build our business by building our community, and in the process, attract to us the type of client and the type of agent who is bigger than themselves, you might say. They have a calling, they have a purpose, they have an interest besides just the next transaction.
Wow. So that's really living life at a different mindset and a different level. When did you start developing that?
It started about 5 years ago. I had the good fortune in 2015, I guess that's 7 or 8 years ago. 2015, a serendipitous path. I ended up in Austin, Texas, at Keller Williams International Headquarters. And through a serendipitous group of events, I ended up as a bold coach and a one thing certified trainer. And on their business development team that actually went out and taught other businesses how to grow their business. And a piece of that was a mindset for philanthropy.
So putting it into a strategic format, what are the things that it's like I try to give money, right? Like I think a lot of people try to I assume that they try to give money and try to do things along those lines. But so what are some of the,
So
what are
what
some
you
of the
just
strategy
said,
around
Matt,
it?
is the most common thing I hear from other business owners inside the home inspection business as well as outside of the home inspection business. Gosh, I try to give some money. How's that strategic, or how does that actually work? As it turns out, once you grasp the basic concepts, the actual money that you physically give from your own pile is the smallest contribution to the nonprofit. So what we do is we learn to leverage what we already intended to do by teaching agents specifically how to use philanthropy to grow their own business. I'll give you some examples. So it's really common for an agent to get excited about doing something good in the community, and they'll say, oh, I'm going to work with leukemia and lymphoma in there. They do a thing every year where they assign, I think they call them champions, to see who can raise the most money. I had an agent come to me and say, hey, I'm trying to raise money for leukemia and lymphoma. Will you help me? I said, absolutely, positively. Meet me in my office. We'll sit down. That's the beginning of switching the dialogue. Yes, I will help you. Come to me.
Okay.
Rather than banging on doors, it's, yes, I will help you. Come to me. So we sat in the office, and my first question to her was, what's your goal? How much money would you like to raise? What are you committed to? And she said, $10,000. And I said, well, that's a substantial goal. I'm impressed by that. I think working together, I would like to write that $10,000 check.
Okay.
And she was like, oh, you're so amazing. It's why I love you. I love your company. You're going to write this check. I said, I intend to write the check, but we're going to need to do this collaboratively. And by collaboratively, it's really sharing with them my business, your business, anyone's business, in or outside of the home inspection universe. You cannot donate money out the back door that didn't first come in the front door.
Yeah.
So by aligning the interests, that is the end goal being raising $10,000 for leukemia and lymphoma, with the need to do business in order to get it out there, I told her, this is how we're going to get the $10,000. And it was a 90-day campaign. So it was plenty of time, 3 months. I said, every home inspection that you send in here, I'm going to donate $100 to leukemia and lymphoma. Everyone that comes out of your office, we're going to donate another $100. And anybody, when they schedule, that says they're involved in leukemia and lymphoma, we're going to donate another $100. So all that means is once a day, somebody in your sphere calls us and says, we're here to support leukemia and lymphoma. Would you please do our home inspection? And we're going to exceed that $10,000.
Wow. How did they receive that? When you
Not well.
I would imagine that would be, wait a minute. I thought you were just going to write a check. I was going to walk out the door with some money.
That's
now you're
right.
saying, but so now you're proposing a partnership on how we're going to
collaboration, doing business together, building community together strategically through philanthropy. She actually said to me, Matt, that she thought that was the most selfish, self-serving thing she'd ever heard.
Wow.
And she left.
Well, but Wally, where does the money come from if it's not coming from inspections right?
I always share that story, Matt, so that people understand when you're transparent with other people, when you're looking to do great things with them, when you're showing them replicatable models for fundraising, replicatable models for business building, there will be those that look at you like you're from Mars. But here's the truth, Matt. She never did business with us once in all the years before she called and asked for money.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So she never did business with us in the past. I gave her an opportunity to raise $10,000 together for leukemia and lymphoma, and she said no, and we still haven't done any business together. That will happen. My hope is the first time you try this, that isn't the outcome that you get, but it does happen. I can tell you others that we have been doing business with for years with larger numbers and smaller numbers who were just grateful that somebody is attempting to do something good. I can tell you also that it helps with price resistance.
Oh, right. I bet it does. Because
When
you're given to charity and the profit's going somewhere besides
there
just
you
the
go.
owners. Right. You're not just
And that
buying
helps
another boat.
some
Right.
agents understand and others just don't because they're selfish and self-centered and don't care.
Yeah.
Same with some customers. And somebody says, oh my gosh, you're $800. Why is somebody else this? They say, well, thank you for asking. One of the reasons we're more expensive, and there are many, is we have full benefits for all of our staff. We have 401k for our staff. We do charitable matching for our staff. And we partner with agents much like yours and members of the community to see what great things we can do in the community. And if that costs just a tiny bit more, that is where the money goes. It sure doesn't go to me.
Yeah.
It's a different conversation.
It is a different conversation. Have you, what does it look like when that conversation goes well? Like there's a great story of how it didn't go well, but is there maybe another realtor that you started this conversation and maybe
and it goes well more than it goes south. Right?
Okay.
The
That's good to
norms
know.
go well.
Because I'm really, really interested in this idea, and I'd love to start something like this even in my own company where I'm not just giving out of my own, because I give out of my own, but yeah, this idea is so impactful, and it could really make a major change in my community. So how does it go? When it goes well, what does it look like?
When it goes well, we solidify and intensify the relationship with the agent. If they had already been working with us, it minimizes the chances of being one of three. It makes you one. That's a win.
Yep.
For those who really embrace it at the next level, they say, this is awesome. Would you come share this with my team or with my office? Yes. Would you share this at our company quarterly event? Yes. Would you come share this at our church? We're raising money for water in Kenya. Yes. So when you're in a position to say yes, that people begin to respond. So we've done this particular presentation, bringing this approach. As you know, we've done it through IEB to 300 or 400 people in Austin. I've done it all over the country. I'm doing it again in Indianapolis next week. I travel all over the country giving this presentation. Wow. So the wins far outnumber the no's. And candidly, the no's are teaching you something about the person that told you no.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I just enjoy it. I enjoy it.
So what kind of charities do you guys end up working with? What moves you personally? And
what moves me personally, I'm very, very involved with a group called Rethreaded. I'll actually be there tomorrow, just to give you a feel for it. So Rethreaded helps survivors of human trafficking through employment and counseling and whatnot. It saves the lives of women. We've developed such a strong relationship with them over the years that they host us once a month in their facility.
Wow.
So
what do you do by hosting it? What do you mean?
Well, once a month, in this relationship with Rethreaded specifically, we host a strategic philanthropy program. And we teach people how to use philanthropy in their business to build their business. We have lender partners and title partners. They invite people in. Rethreaded invites people in. My growth division invites people in. The idea is let's all get people who are, it tells you something about a person, just the idea they'll show up to listen to a presentation about philanthropy to build your business, right? So that's a very different thing. So we get them intermingling and doing that thing together. We do that with them once a month. They also have a little retail store. So we're able to put on the presentation and they shop in the retail store. We'll raise $1,000 to $2,000 for the nonprofit while we're essentially marketing to real estate agents. But what's interesting about that mindset is we're marketing to real estate agents that were invited by lenders and title companies. The real estate agents who are there are mingling with each other because often they don't know each other.
Right.
They're sipping wine and eating cheese that was purchased by the lender or the title company in a space that was funded by the nonprofit. Our expense in that is nothing. We're not spending money. We didn't spend money. We're causing thousands and thousands of dollars to be raised in there. So we'll have a person in there, a real estate agent, may have never worked the company. She says, I never heard anything like this. This is just mind-boggling. We're going to try you on our next inspection. I was like, thank you very much. And next time you do this, can I bring my manager? We've had individual agents invite their managers, and managers invite us into companies.
Wow.
So it's different when you're invited to bring a message about community rather than banging on a door, begging to talk about your sewer scope or your infrared camera.
Right. Absolutely. It's a completely different mindset, completely different mentality. And you're not trying to sell how many lines of resolution are on your thermal camera. You're saying, hey, let's work together and benefit.
This is why we're different as a business. This is where our hearts are. This is the type of people we attract. This is the kind of ways we want to deal with people. This is just representative. And our success is a success for the community. We have those kinds of conversations. It's very different. Yeah. And they don't resonate with everyone. It would be disingenuous to say, once you share this thought, the whole world's going to fall at your feet. That is simply not true. But a reasonable number of reasonably nice people will.
Right. Wow. So you've been doing this for 5 years, give or take. How much money are you able to raise through this strategy and be able to give away into the community?
The largest we've ever raised at a single event is $250,000.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
How about annually? Like how much throughout the year are you able to have an impact?
You know, it's hard to put a number on that, but I'll just give you some thoughts.
Yeah.
And it depends how you count. So when you count the number of people we teach in a given year how to do these things and how to think, we have no way of tracking that. But I would say in direct dollar benefit that I know I can track, and that $250,000 was an anomaly. That was really, it was one of the greatest nights of my life, raising this $250,000. But I would say annually, we probably do more than 100 and less than $250,000 in a year.
Got it.
The interesting thing is, a very small percentage of that is our actual personal dollars.
Okay. Because you're doing
causing it to occur.
Yeah. So you're using business to be able to, like when someone brings in somebody, like a business transaction under this umbrella, it's some of the profit that's come.
I'll give you an example, Matt, that came up about an hour and a half ago, completely serendipitous. Scrolling through Facebook, which all great business owners do, and a real estate agent tagged me in a post. So you got to read it, right? Yeah, okay, what is it? What are they complaining about now?
Yeah.
So what it was, she has a girlfriend who is awaiting a pancreas transplant. The cost of this transplant is $300,000. She has insurance, and her copay, or whatever that's rightly called, is about $30,000. So my real estate agent friend here is putting on a fundraiser to try to raise $30,000. So she just tagged me. She posted her video about this thing that she's doing. She tagged me in it. She said, Wally, can you help? So she's meeting me here at 8:30 tomorrow, and we're going to put together a strategy to raise the $30,000.
Wow.
Well, a piece of that strategy is exactly what I shared to you that I was told no about leukemia and lymphoma. I'm not picking on leukemia and lymphoma. I'm just being transparent about what the example. So it's no bad on the organization. It was strictly an individual thing.
Right.
So we're going to do that same thing. I can say to her, okay, over the next 30 days, everything you send, we'll do $100. Everything that comes out of your office or company, we'll do another $100. We also have some other things and opportunities that we can turn on like that. You teased me in the beginning about Studio C, my boat.
Yeah.
We routinely put the boat in silent auctions and raise $1,000 to $3,000 on a boat ride. We just give them sexy names, wine on the water, bourbon on the boat.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah. You know, just give it some smoke on the water if it's cigars. I say, what does your group respond to? And they tell me, and we'll get a half a dozen people out there. We'll raise, it's usually 2,000 plus or minus 1,000. Well, that's 10% of what they're looking to do right there. I do that. And imagine this, if I say, you know.
And it costs you what? A little bit of time, a little bit of fuel.
And I love to go on boat rides. And the bulk of this, quite truthfully, falls in the real estate realm. We have a commercial real estate company, commercial inspection company, residential inspection company, and a pest control company. So I can play in these multiple ponds. But using this example from this morning, Spencer, I'll just say her name. Her name's Spencer. Nobody knows her, and if you do, be polite. So if she brought 10 friends who each donated $100 to take a waterfront tour of waterfront properties in Jacksonville, there's $1,000.
Yeah.
It's going to cost me a few gallons worth of fuel and a bottle of wine and some cheese. And I'm going to meet 8 or 9 agents I never met before.
Yeah.
And what are they going to say? They're going to say, oh, man, it's so awesome what you're doing for this person, and I had no idea. And this. I'm like, yeah. And you know how we fund this? We fund this through our business, and I'd be super grateful if you gave us a try.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's just a different way of thinking.
It is. It's a different way of thinking. And that's one thing I love about this podcast is we're trying to challenge people's mentality. And our conversation really challenged me. I've been thinking a lot about this throughout the last couple of weeks about, how am I being generous? How am I using philanthropy? And then how can I harness that to grow my philanthropy and grow the business?
But go back to it, Matt. It's an IEB tenet, right? Everything is mindset.
Everything is mindset.
Once you sit with an affirmation that says, I'm a philanthropist, I'm a philanthropist, I'm a philanthropist, and you realize what all that entails, meaning how many ways we can donate time, we can donate talent, we can donate treasure, we can donate leadership, we can post things on our Facebook page. All of the things that we learn to do at IEB in the growth, we can apply those same tools toward philanthropy, which no one is doing. And as we leverage that with lenders and title companies and agents, suddenly you're competing in a blue ocean space that just makes life a little easier and you feel good.
Yeah, that sounds great. So I picked up on a couple of things you were saying along the way. And one of them was that it seems like you have people that are reaching out to you regarding things that, like almost as if you have a reputation for philanthropy in your community.
That's true.
How did you build that? Like, how do you go from a guy who maybe doesn't have any reputation or any groundwork, and because I look at that now and I'm like, man, I'm trying to get there. I want to get there. I was inspired. I'm like, I'm going to try to do.
Well, you're already there. Look at all the things you're doing for growth in your company. All you do is have a common theme. So anything that you're doing, if you're banging on office doors, make that a part of that conversation. If you're on Facebook, if you're doing a podcast, you just make that a piece of everything you do. And because virtually no one is doing it, and we have 1,000 home inspectors in the greater Jacksonville area, there's 15,000 in Florida. Wow. And I have some really wonderful competitors inside of IEB. In fact, we're meeting tonight on my boat. Once a month, the IEB guys in Jacksonville, we meet on my boat, and we talk about common messaging.
I need to come over and check out your boat. I need to come to that meeting.
Well,
how do I get an invite on that thing, huh?
You've got one. It's open-ended. In fact, it's open-ended to any IEB member. I'll gladly host you at any of our IEB pods. We have our own underway pod. We just get underway. Guys in my market.
That's so cool.
There's 4 of us, and we probably represent the top 5 companies in the region.
Wow.
But it's talking about things in common.
4 of the top 5 in your market hang out together as friends and in a pod and try to help encourage and better one another through.
That's right.
Man. Yeah. See, I love that about IEB. Where else can you find that umbrella that you can do that in? It's so hard to do that in your own
It's
community.
not easy.
No, it's not. And there's a lot of people that don't want to engage in that. I try to do that here locally, and it was a challenge. And now I have some friends in the industry, and then we'll casually chat about things. But to be on the same page, talking about mindset, talking about growth, and now the 4 of you guys are out of the top 5, and that's just incredible. That's what a story of growth that you guys have had there. That's incredible.
It's a mindset and collaboration thing. It's all.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you the agenda for tonight's IEB Jacksonville pod.
Yeah.
Okay. Topics and ideas. We're talking about pay at close.
Oh, yeah.
One of the interesting things, when you get a new idea in your company and you think you've got something special and you're going to be the only one. Well, that's just nonsense. You know, a really strong company, you might be 5% of your market, like you're going to have some big influence.
Right.
But between the four of us, we probably represent, I don't know, somewhere between 30, 50, 60% of the market. So, hey, what if we all did pay at close? How would that be? So we're talking about that. We're talking about our thoughts and all of us have pest control companies also.
Okay.
We're talking about the Pest Empire Builders had its first meeting a week or so ago. We're talking about, what did you think? How did you feel? What ideas you get? What can you do better? In fact, it was one of our Jacksonville guys who spoke at the first one, Austin Gray.
Okay.
Doing a recap of last week's mastermind. None of us were sitting together doing it, but we're going to sit together and say, well, what did you see? What did you hear? How did you feel? What are you going to do different? And we go that way. We're talking about RGT in Maryland, see who's going. And preparation for our September meeting. We meet once a month. Collaboration instead of competition. We call that co-opetition.
I love that. Do you guys work on your strategic philanthropy the same way?
No.
Together? No. Okay.
No. It's interesting. They've all seen the same program that you saw me do. Some
Right.
of them have seen it more than once. And all of them do it in a little different way. But
Okay.
they're all involved in some way. So it isn't to say my way is the only way. What I see my role as is priming the pump. If I can get your juices flowing with an idea of using philanthropy to grow your business, you'll do different things than I do, but you're doing something to grow your business and doing great things in the community. That's all.
Yeah. So when you're out talking about this in the community, like whatever your growth you mentioned using growth activities and weaving this into conversations. How do you try to for lack of a better word, brand your philanthropy under a certain Wally gives? I mean, how do you communicate that? Like
So the 5x5, which is a stalwart of IEB, outbound calls, right? Making outbound calls. Our growth person will make an outbound call. It'll go something like this. Hey, Matt, it's me, Brittany from Home Pro. We're putting together our quarterly philanthropy calendar to support nonprofits for the upcoming quarter. I was curious, what's most important to you in the community?
Wow. That's a different conversation.
I love the word wow. It's a core value of the company, complete wow experience. But it's a totally different call.
Yeah.
It's a different call than, hi, can I tell you about my sewer scope, which we do? Hey, can I tell you about my infrared, which we have? You want to hear about my drone, which we have those too? Nobody wants to hear that crap.
No.
When you say to a person, Matt, I was just calling to let you know we're putting together our quarterly philanthropy and giving calendar for the next quarter, and you say, oh, man, I'm working on raising money to get a pancreas for my girlfriend. Or, oh, my gracious, my brother-in-law has Down syndrome, and we've been working with the Downs. When we get a response about a nonprofit from that outbound call, we're 3 words away from a sit-down meeting, and they'll actually come to us.
Right. Because, now you're talking about touching something that's near and dear to
It's us
their
helping them and doing with them and doing for them.
Yeah.
So
then administratively in the back end, you're just tagging the client or tagging whatever their cause is. You've got a tag there that you can pull up and track it through your numbers, right? And then you can go,
we're not that sophisticated.
Oh,
but
okay.
If we know that Matt Williams, we're doing a thing with Matt Williams, all we got to do is run a report on a given date and go, oh, okay, Matt sent 3 things, there's $300 and off they go.
Okay. Yeah.
But here's what's interesting.
Yeah.
If Matt sent us, and I'm picking on Matt just because you're here.
Go right ahead. I love to be picked on. Yeah.
If Matt Williams sent us 3 inspections this month, in order for them to send us 3, how many people might they have told about us?
Yep. Well, and then even amongst their own realtor community, they're going to say,
right.
hey, I'm doing a fundraising thing. These guys are helping me.
That's right.
And, and they're taking a huge chunk of their profit out of the deal.
Yeah. So
because $100 out of the deal, that's a big chunk.
I do this in a mindset. You got to do a little different with the IRS. In my mind, philanthropic dollars are marketing dollars that always have a return.
Yeah.
At a minimum, we did something good in the community.
Yeah. Yeah. And if that's all you do, right? If all you get is that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and then you end up building deeper relationships
that are more impactful besides, like, did the guy show up on time, and did he do a good job, and did he get me the report
You
when I
also
wanted
tend to
it?
be
And those are
forgiven.
good.
You're more likely to be forgiven for your imperfections if they believe you've got a good heart.
Wow. That's really good. Yeah.
Oh, your guy missed a GFCI. We never would have bought this house. It's going to cost my customer $10. You know, like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
you're nuts.
That's the best, isn't it?
I'll tell you a fun story about philanthropy. We did a home inspection. This is 4 or 5 years ago. For everyone in Jacksonville would know the name, for a very wealthy individual. And they moved in, and there was a problem in an elevated balcony. When we did the home inspection, their architect was there, because when you're paying $5 or $8 million for a house, it's never quite right. You got to have your architect, you got to have your contractor. So our guy made their guy aware of some different things that were on their mind. And you start having these conversations, and it's true to say it never is as detailed in the report as a conversation.
Correct.
So the guy moves in, and it's a multi-million-dollar house. He's probably doing $1 million worth of upgrades and renovations. And the contractor says, hey, we got this mess on the balcony he was already aware of. The guy calls me and says, hey, we have a problem in our balcony. It's going to cost us like $120,000 that you didn't tell us. Thinking, well, you had your architect and your contractor following around, and there's this picture, and there's this, and there's that. And I'm sorry you didn't understand, but here's the truth, pal. I didn't quite say pal. Here's how it shakes out, sir.
Listen here, buddy. Yeah. I always sound tougher later, like after the fact. Yeah.
I have no intention of writing a $120,000 check, and quite frankly, I don't think I could unless I moved into the street.
Right. Yeah.
What I will do, I never want to gain from your pain.
Right.
So I'd like to take every dollar that you spent with my company and donate it to the nonprofit of your choice. I didn't win. I didn't harm anybody, and we did good in the community. Can we agree to that, and we'll just be done with this? The guy said, yeah.
That's awesome. Wow. That's a great resolution. 'Cause that's a win-win-win, right? Like, if I'm going to give a refund, it's like, well, you might as well, let's kick it to somebody who needs it
we've
more.
all had complaints. My gosh, after 50,000 home inspections, it's not like we have a billion every day. We had one today. Interesting, it's with the agent who I'm helping her girlfriend get the pancreas with, so I got a little slack.
Right.
You can't make this stuff up, it's true. But
oh, man.
I was going somewhere.
Yeah.
We're going to have complaints.
Yep. Absolutely.
When you get a complaint, when you really distill it down, usually it's not about the money. They want money, but it wasn't about the money. They're frustrated, they're angry, they're just frustrated.
Yeah, and they want to be heard.
They want to be heard.
Yeah, and they want someone to take ownership. Yeah.
I have no idea how my guy could have prevented that. What say we make a donation to your favorite nonprofit? Who is it? One of the interesting things about that is people who don't have a mind for philanthropy, they just pause. Like, you're proposing we do what? I said, I'm proposing, we have an honest disagreement here. You believe this, I believe that. Rather than argue about it, I just want to do something good in the community that we can all move on. How about I donate $100 to the Girl Scouts? Okay.
That's amazing.
What's important to you? It's finding out what's important to that person and say, I'd like to help them too. I feel way better about giving $100 to Girl Scouts, as an example, than giving $100 to somebody who actually doesn't deserve it.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't need it.
Right. Yeah.
They just want to win. Okay, you win.
You win.
And now what do they talk about? Hey, those were really nice people at Home Pro.
Yep.
They give money to the community? I told them about a problem, and the first thing out of their mind, they wanted to help the Girl Scouts. I'm like, yeah, well, thank you.
That's amazing. What a great win-win operation. Because you're right. Most of the time the complaint, they don't really want the money. They're just
it never makes sense anyway.
No, and they're upset about a GFI outlet or something. But almost every time we get one, there's a valve is dripping or something, and
it's always something dopey.
Yeah, they bring a plumber out and they're going to make the repairs. It's going to cost $125 to get this thing.
And I'm really sorry. I'd like to make a donation in your honor.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah,
and
it's like,
what's the person going to say? No, I don't care about the Girl Scouts. Send me the $100. Okay.
They might.
If they say that, we're going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I just had one of those the other day with a drippy valve, and I wish I'd had that little tip right there. I would have used it right then. And
Should have called sooner, Matt. Not my fault.
I know. Like, this is just a bad time. But you know what? There's another one coming. So it's because it's just inevitable. We're not perfect, and we inspect a few thousand houses a year as well, and just probably every month we get one or two. Hey, this little thing, and almost every time it's tiny. And so to resolve it in that way is just incredible.
Yeah. Oh, what I started to say, I can't explain it to the IRS this way, but it's how it is in my own mind. The philanthropy dollars are just marketing dollars.
Right.
So, when you look at Erin Guyton's typical numbers at IB Financials, she would say about 10% for marketing. Well, imagine that 10% went to philanthropy, used as marketing.
Yeah.
Maybe not all of it, but let's go with most of it.
Right. Technically, the dollar is going to a nonprofit, and so on your bookkeeping chart and in the IRS, the dollar is flowing to nonprofits, so it is flowing to charity.
Dollar.
It is a charitable dollar, right? But if you're doing it the way you're doing it, now it's a double dipping on that dollar, because now you're spending it and you're helping the community in a nonprofit, and you're also building awareness and relationships, deeper, more meaningful relationships with realtors and with customers and with everybody that's in our real estate sphere. People hear about that. I mean, clearly they're hearing about it because they're calling you and coming. You have a reputation for this, that they're now coming to you, which I think is amazing. How great of a reputation would it have to be like, yeah, call Matt over at Duke City Inspections. Like that guy always is.
Yeah, or if nothing else, they say, hi, Wally's a real butthead, but he does do nice things in the community.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have a face made for podcasts, so that works pretty good. Yeah. Of course, we're both good-looking men with these nice shiny heads.
Yeah, we are.
That's right. I'll give you that. Wow. Well, Wally, this has been really fantastic conversation. I love this idea of strategic philanthropy. In fact, I want to maybe have you back on the program on a different time and maybe even talk some more about this because I think this is one of those mentality shifts that over time, as we start to implement it, I think it's going to take baby steps, right? You can't just go from zero to I'm going to give $200,000 away a year. It's probably something that you start to build and grow into as you go.
Like every other marketing thing, it takes a little time, but you just feel better about this one while you're building it out. I will tell you also, this is my favorite topic. Mm-hmm. So anytime we're at any event, RGT event or any other event, but principally RGT event, somebody wants to talk about it, just grab me. We'll sit down, we'll break bread, have a drink, and talk about building your business through strategic philanthropy. I love it. Favorite topic. That's awesome. Well, Wally, thank you so much for being here on the show. And we're gonna end it here today. But thank you so much for being here. It's been a delight, and I can't wait to see you on a future episode. Thanks, Matt.
You've been listening to Empire State of Mind for the home inspection industry and beyond. Our passion is to elevate the home inspection industry with mindset, strategy, and tools. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. For more, follow on Instagram at IEB Coaching. And don't forget to hit the website at www.iebcoaching.com. Learn about IEB at no cost and have all your questions answered on our open call once a month on the third week of the month. We hope to see you there, and we'll see you next time on the Empire State of Mind.